Picture this, a quiet night, a group of friends, and a Ouija board. The clock strikes 3 a.m. Our story begins in Melbourne, Australia, with a chap named Jack and his close-knit circle of friends. For them, the thrill of the unknown was irresistible, and on one fateful night, they decided to explore the mysteries of the Ouija board. With the city asleep and the moon casting long shadows, they gathered around the board, their hearts pounding in their chests. As the hands of the clock pointed to the witching hour, they placed their fingers on the planchette, the small piece of wood designed to glide across the board and reveal messages from the other side. They asked, "Is there anyone here with us?" The planchette moved, slowly at first, then with increasing speed, spelling out YES. Their breath hitched, the air around them suddenly feeling colder. The questions continued, each answer sending chills down their spines. They felt a presence, an energy that wasn't there before. The room fell silent, the only sound being the faint scraping of the planchette on the board. Then, Jack, brave or foolish, asked a question that would change the course of the night. "Who are you?" The planchette moved again, spelling out a name they didn't recognize. The air in the room grew heavy. The shadows in the corners seemed to deepen. Their laughter and bravado from earlier was replaced by a growing sense of unease. They decided to end the session, but not before the board had a final message for them. As their fingers hovered over the board, the planchette moved on its own, spelling out GOODBYE. They stared at each other, a shared sense of dread passing between them. They had started the night seeking a thrill, a bit of fun. But as the board spelled out goodbye, they knew they had invited something into their midst. Ever wondered why 3 a.m. is considered the witching hour? Well, let's unravel this mystery together. The concept of the witching hour originates from European folklore and is traditionally defined as the time between midnight and dawn when witches are said to be most powerful. Over time, this definition has evolved, and now 3 a.m. is widely regarded as the witching hour, a time when the veil between our world and the spirit realm is purportedly thinnest. This notion isn't just confined to the annals of folklore. Many modern paranormal enthusiasts and investigators also hold this belief, citing heightened supernatural activity during this period. It's no coincidence then that Ouija board sessions held at this eerie hour are believed to yield more potent and often more terrifying results. Take, for instance, the chilling tale of a group of thrill-seeking teenagers in Salem, Massachusetts. One fateful night, they decided to test the limits of the supernatural, harnessing the power of the Ouija board at precisely 3 a.m. The result? A harrowing encounter with an entity claiming to be a witch burnt at the stake during the infamous Salem witch trials. Then there's the infamous case of the haunted apartment in London. A group of roommates, intrigued by the lore of the witching hour, decided to experiment with a Ouija board at 3 a.m. The aftermath was a series of unexplained occurrences, including objects moving on their own and chilling whispers in the dead of night. These stories serve as stark reminders of the potential dangers of dabbling with the supernatural, especially during the witching hour. The allure of the unknown can be enticing, but it's crucial to remember that not all that lurks in the shadows is friendly. So, next time you find yourself awake at 3 a.m., perhaps it's best to leave the Ouija board in the cupboard and simply enjoy the quiet of the night. After all, who knows what you might be inviting in when you reach out to the other side? The hairs on the back of your neck standing up yet? Let's delve deeper. The thrill of the unknown can sometimes blind us to the potential dangers, a statement that rings true more often than not, especially when it comes to the world of the supernatural. Take Emily from Sydney, Australia, for instance, a self-proclaimed skeptic. Emily decided to challenge the unknown one night, armed with nothing more than a Ouija board and an insatiable curiosity. She waited until the clock struck 3 in the morning, the witching hour, the time when the veil between our world and the spirit realm is said to be the thinnest. As Emily placed her fingers gently on the planchette, she asked out to the universe, "Is anybody there?" She was met with an eerie silence, then a slow, deliberate movement of the planchette towards the word yes. A thrill ran down her spine, but she pressed on, ignoring that primal instinct to flee from the unknown. She continued her conversation with this unseen entity, asking questions that were met with seemingly harmless answers. But as the minutes ticked by, The atmosphere in the room began to shift. The air grew colder, and Emily could feel an unsettling sensation, as though she was no longer alone. She asked the spirit to reveal its name. The planchette moved again, spelling out a name that sent a chill down Emily's spine. Zozo, a name associated with a malevolent entity known in the paranormal community. In her quest for knowledge and thrill, Emily had unknowingly invited a negative entity into her space. The days following her Ouija board experience were marked by strange occurrences, objects moving on their own, unsettling nightmares, and a constant feeling of being watched. Emily finally sought help from a local spiritualist who performed a cleansing ritual in her home. The disturbances ceased, but the experience left a lasting impact on Emily. It was a harsh reminder that the allure of the unknown can sometimes lead us down a path better left unexplored. Emily learned the hard way that some doors are best left unopened, so let her story serve as a cautionary tale to all those who dare to tamper with the unknown, especially at the witching hour. Sometimes the most terrifying things are those we can't see. Our tale now takes us to the sun-soaked shores of Perth, Australia. Here, a young man named Ben learned the hard way about the unseen consequences of tampering with the spirit world. One fateful night, Ben and his friends decided to break out a dusty old Ouija board they found in his grandmother's attic. With the clock striking 3 in the morning, they took their places around the board, their faces lit by the eerie glow of candlelight. What started as a game quickly turned into something far more sinister. As the planchette moved across the board, spelling out messages from an entity identifying itself as Mara, the room grew colder, and an unsettling feeling of dread filled the air. Ignoring the warning signs, Ben and his friends continued their session, fueled by a mixture of fear and fascination. The climax of their encounter came when Mara spelled out a chilling prophecy. "Ben will pay," it spelled out, and then the planchette abruptly stopped. The room returned to its normal temperature, and the pervasive sense of dread lifted. Shaken but unharmed, Ben and his friends decided to call it a night. However, in the days that followed, Ben found himself plagued by a string of inexplicable misfortunes. His healthy pet dog fell ill suddenly, his secure job was unexpectedly downsized, and he was beset with a series of strange accidents that seemed to occur for no apparent reason. But perhaps most disturbingly, he began to hear whispers in his ear, a voice that sounded eerily like the one they had heard through the Ouija board that night. These invisible consequences continued to haunt Ben, a relentless reminder of that fateful encounter with the Ouija board. Despite his attempts to seek help from various spiritual healers and paranormal experts, the unseen presence remained, a chilling testament to the dangers of dabbling with the supernatural. Ben's life was never the same, a chilling reminder of the power of the unseen. His story serves as a potent warning for those who may be tempted to underestimate the power of the Ouija board, especially during the witching hour. The unseen consequences can indeed be the most terrifying of all. Playing with the unknown is not a game. It demands respect. When we delve into the realm of the supernatural, we are treading on ground that we may not fully understand. The spirit world, much like our own, operates on principles of respect and etiquette. Disrespect can lead to consequences that are far beyond what we can comprehend. Let's talk about Lily, a vivacious young woman from Brisbane, Australia, whose curiosity led her down a path she could never have imagined. She decided to use a Ouija board one night at precisely 3 a.m., the witching hour. She didn't heed the warnings, the stories of the potential dangers. She didn't respect the spirit world, and that, my friends, was her downfall. As Lily asked her questions, the planchette moved with a force she hadn't experienced before. The responses were cryptic. The energy in the room grew colder and more intense. Then the unthinkable happened. Lily asked for a sign of the spirit's presence, and she got more than she bargained for. The lights flickered, objects moved on their own, and a chilling voice echoed in the room, speaking words that she could barely comprehend. And then, silence. The room returned to normal, but Lily was left shaken. She experienced nightmares, unexplainable occurrences, and a constant feeling of being watched. She had invited something into her space, and it wasn't leaving. Lily's story serves as a stark reminder of the potential risks involved when we dabble in the supernatural without the necessary respect. The Ouija board is not a toy or a party gimmick. It's a tool that can open doors to another world, a world that we may not be ready to face. Respect for the spirit world is not about fear, but about understanding. It's about recognizing that there are forces beyond our control, entities that operate on a different plane of existence. So the next time you think about using a Ouija board, especially at the witching hour, remember Lily's story. Remember, curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction didn't bring it back. Tempting fate is never a wise decision. As we've journeyed through these chilling tales of Ouija board nightmares, one truth stands out. The spirit world is not a realm to be trifled with, especially at the witching hour of 3 o'clock in the morning. The allure of the unknown may be enticing, but remember, there's a fine line between curiosity and recklessness. When you toy with a Ouija board, you're not just playing a game. You're opening a door to a world beyond our understanding, inviting energies, entities, possibly even dangers beyond our comprehension. These stories we've shared aren't just tales to send shivers down your spine. They're cautionary tales, reminders of the potential consequences of inviting the unknown into your space. Respect is key. Respect for the spirit world, for the forces beyond our understanding, and most importantly, for your own safety. In the world of the supernatural, ignorance is not bliss, it's a hazard. Have you ever had a paranormal encounter? If you've dared to dabble with a Ouija board, we're eager to hear your tales. Did you wake the spirits at the witching hour? Or perhaps you've encountered an entity that sent chills down your spine? Share your experiences in the comments below. And if you're craving more eerie encounters, we've got plenty. Dive into our archive for more paranormal tales and urban legends. Stay safe, respect the unknown, and remember, some things are better left unexplored.